Okay.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming today. This is very exciting to have our first in-person WordPress meetup in years, literally. And we have just a few handful of people in the audience. How many do we have online, Doug?
21.
21 online. So it's good to be here. What I'm going to do today is something I don't think has ever been done before. I'm going to build a website from scratch, hopefully in an hour, so we all go have beers. That's the goal. And it'll either be really great or a catastrophe, but either way, we're going to have beer. So you can't be that bad, right? And let me see, I'm clear out that, don't need that open. Okay. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about where you can learn more about, well, I'm going to talk about I'm Mary Ann. I own Waterlink Web. Our co-organizer is Doug, and Doug Ryder owns WriterWorks, and we both build websites for people probably all around the country. So I want to talk a little bit about the 2023 theme. It comes out of the box looking like this, and it's not very exciting. It has, a separate head, and it's thrown people off. In fact, I was thrown off. I didn't use any of the 2022. I never built any 2022 websites with the 2022 theme because I didn't know how to use it either. But in 2023, I said, I've got to figure this out. And so I did. And now I've built a bunch of them with it, and I love it. And so I'm going to show you a couple of things I've done already, and a couple of websites, and then we're going to dig in to how to learn more about this so you can educate yourself. And then from there, we're going to build a website. So first of all, I used to use the Genesis themes. And this is one I built with Genesis themes. Mighty Epiphyte built it years ago. Client was very happy with it. But a couple months ago, she said, you know what, I want to change my business a little bit. I want to do some new things. I want to update my website. So this is still in staging, but this is her website now. So it's changed quite a bit. And it's so fast. It is so fast how this comes on. The other thing about this is you can change every single header. So if you look here, different picture on this page, different picture on this page, different picture on this page. You go to services, different picture on there. And then of course I had these things under services all have that same image. So it just gives you some more creativity that you don't necessarily have the ability in a standard website. This is the North Peninsula Review, also a 2023 theme website. And this is built for a small newspaper here in St. John's, Portland, Oregon. And I was able to build it. They loved the header. They had a great picture for me. In this particular one, we have a blog also. Both of these last two websites have blogs, and we'll talk about that a little bit and how to add that in. And then this is another website I built for a local contractor who does small projects. He's Portland's small project specialist. And, every single page has a different picture on it. Things that he, just kind of talk about what he does. So it gives, it's so easy to build once you know how to do it. So anything else anybody wants to add about that? Nope. Okay, I'm just going to plow through.
Put a question in the chat.
Okay, then so if questions show up, you can jump in. Okay, so this is how it comes out of the box. 2023, very plain, not very pretty. And let's dig in. I should tell you something I have done already. I have added pictures to the library. Okay, I created my little logo and added that. And that's it, and some icons and some images. And then I have also added the pages. I have a before after page, a home, poetry, and on my work page. So this is just, it's marianneasherbrenner.com. You can log in later and appreciate it. So, okay, so I've done that. What I'm going to do first is put the header together. So, oh, actually, no, I'm going to do one other thing first, something you do before. So we go to settings. And in general, you can see I already have my HTTPS. I'm going to have to change this. The site title is Marianne Asherbrenner. There. And I don't know what my tagline will be. What should it be?
Building a new site.
I'll change that at some point. How about be daring? That's it. There we go. And I also, out of the box, it comes with UTC 0. For whatever reason, I like to use the our American time. So I'll find Los Angeles, which is our time, and I'll put that up here. I don't know if other people like to do that too, but it's in here someplace. There. So it's Los Angeles time. I hit the save changes on that. And did I spell daring right? I hope so. And writing, I'm not going to do a blog on here, but I'll show you how to do blogs and later. In reading, the home page. Okay, home page is going to be home, okay? And your home page displays a static page. I'm not going to have a post page, so I'm not going to select that. Save changes. If I did have a post page, I would select one of these pages to be that, or I would have a page called blog. I would have added that page in. Okay. And then under discussion, well, there's no blog page, so I don't have to worry about that. And I think that's about all I need to worry about right now. Permalinks, that's fine. Post name. Okay. We're going to go in. Now we're going to go into the editor. So this is different from before. So when you go to the different parts, there's the header. That's the first one we're going to mess with. And I go to click it here. And then I go here and I have this drop down that tells me everything that's in here. So there's a group and then there's a row. Okay. And the row has a site title and a navigation. So I am going to do some things in here to make it different because I want to have an actual logo in there instead of the site title. So I'm going to add another row. I click here and I go insert before. So there's going to be inserted before /row. Okay. And that may be a new block that some of you aren't familiar with. But I have learned to love the row block this year. So in the first place, I'm going to put an image. So I go here and my image is in the media library and the image is my logo. And normally I would fill out alt tags for everything. I'm not going to do that tonight. That's an SEO thing you want to definitely do. So there's my site title, my tagline, my logo. And I'm also going to do something else with this. I'm going to link it to that way when people click it, they'll come back to the home page, just like you would on other sites. So I'm here, I'm in the, this is the row. And then let's click this other one. There's a little button that'll add the second part of the row. And that is going to be the navigation. Right here. And if this was a bigger screen, this would be flat. So wait, I didn't want to do that there. Let's undo it. Okay, I wanted to do it in this row here. There we go. In that row, I click on here. Then there's the plus. Navigation. Okay. So all it has in there right now is sample page, which we're going to add the other pages in a minute. But before we do that, we're going to do some styling with the row. So I have the row here. These things are all styling with the row. This changes the item's justification. And we're in this situation, we're going to put space between items. That will make them spread out on this. This has how they align. So if I could align them at the bottom, you see how that sample page went down? It's aligned at the bottom then with the logo. I'm going to align in the middle because I think that's where I want it. I think that looks fine. And then this gives us wide width. So there's going to be a wide, this goes the width of the page. When you see it, it'll go the width of the page. It has space between the items, and we have a wide width. I am going to do something else because we have this row here and we're styling it. I'm going to click here. And I'm going to unhook these things. I don't need to add padding to the top or to the bottom, but I want to put a little bit of padding on the right and a little bit of padding on the left. And what that does is when it spreads out, it will be not all the way off to the far edge. And for now, I'm going to save this. I like what I've done so far. I don't need this row in down here anymore, do I? Because I replaced it with something better. So I'm going to click here and hit remove row. Just like that. And now I'm going to do something else. I have this right here. I'm going to add before. Insert before. And that is going to be the cover block. Because I want to have a big image in here. I'm going to go to my media library. And I'm going to use this image. Again, I would put an alt text on it, but we're not tonight. Now I have this big cover block in here. And I am going to do a couple things on the cover block. I want this to be full width. So it goes the whole width of the website. And let's see, yeah, full width. And I want it to not be that much. You click here, you can see it has a 50% overlay. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. So it's only a 10% overlay. That might not be enough. Then I'm going to put this row up in there. And I probably need more overlay. I also want to make that it's really big. So I'm going to make this smaller. And that's better. And I am going to make the overlay a little bit more. Oh, I want to go back to the cover block to do the overlay. Like that much, but I think I'm going to do it with white. So I go to this color here and overlay, I click it and I want it to be a white overlay. Now you can see my logo. That's better. I would probably play with this a lot more if I weren't just building it straight up, but that's okay. Let's save this. So now I have changed the header on this website because I went right to the original header and worked with it. So let's see how it looks on the website. It's not doing the full width that I want it to do. Why is it not doing that? I don't know. Pardon me?
Static groups. Sorry.
Oh, I'm glad I have an audience here. Okay, so we're going back here. We had a tip from the audience, header. Click here. And because these groups are not full width, that may be why this is not full width. So I'm clicking on the group. I'm going to make this full width. Then I'm clicking on this group. And it doesn't really have anything on it. So we'll click on that group. We made that full width. And then the cover block, maybe I need to make it full width again. There you go. That'll work. I'll be happy with this. I want this logo and this my logo and the navigation to be up a little higher. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some padding here. So this paragraph, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm probably not going to put anything in there. But below that, insert after. I'm going to put slash spacer. And you see how that moved that up? I'm going to do it again. Insert after slash spacer. There, now my navigation's up above. You can see it easily. You can see my name. I might even be able to reduce this in the cover block, going back to the right block, the cover block. Reduce this capacity a tiny bit so you can get better example of the picture. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good, actually. What if I just take the opacity away entirely? And let's put in one more spacer because we can. Insert after. Okay, I'm going to save this. That is looking about the way I want to. It's a beautiful picture. You got my logo in there. You got the navigation. Okay, let's play with the navigation a little bit. What? Question. Could you unclick the option to have the nested blocks to use some margins, one of the groups?
Page yet, so.
I don't understand the question.
Right.
We're going to move on. I think, okay, so we have this working here. Let's work with our navigation. So again, we go back to our row block. And click that. And we go to the navigation. All you do is you add it in. So it tells you what pages do you want to add in. Well, we're going to add in home. There it is. And we're going to add in poetry. Why not? You guys get to see one of my poems. We're going to add in before and after. And we might as well add in work because I am definitely not retired. Don't need the sample page. I want to take it away. So I click on it. Remove sample page, just like that. And we can style our navigation as well. So here in the navigation, once I'm in that block, I can click here. And I could add a background to it if I wanted to. And I could change the size of the font. I made it a little bit bigger. I think I'm pretty pleased with that, actually. I think that's readable. Let's go see how the website looks. Vastly improved already. Look at that. Beautiful picture. This, you really can't see that well because of the dark background there, so I'm going to do something to fix that. Let's go back here to the dashboard. Go back to the, what I just did, there we go, back to the template parts, to the header. And I am going to go into the navigation again, click this down, got a group, probably have more groups there than I need, honestly, but you know, we're not going to worry about that right now. We're in navigation. How would I just do? There. Row image. Let's go backwards. So I did something wrong there. There. I accidentally, when you can always go backwards. Okay, so now I'm going to go into navigation. Now, I can put a background on it. So we're going to put a little background to make it easier to read. And I have some colors I picked out from the image. I actually used an image thing to pick out colors. So let's try that. And we're going to do right here. Give me a second. Just a little bit lighter, and you can read it a lot easier with that background. I could also change it. Let's see how it looks with this background. I like that. It almost blends in with the picture. I actually got that color off of using Chrome has an extension you can put into your browser that will tell you what colors are in every image. So that's where I got this color pink. I think I'm going to be very pleased with that there. Okay, let's go back and see how the page looks. Okay, so this works for me. Got my logo. I think I may end up bringing this in a little bit more, making that padding a little bit so this comes in closer. Let's see if all the pages are working. You got my poem. You'll get to read it later. That crafty stuff, work. Yes, me and Nat Mullenweg. We go way back. There's a story behind that. Okay, so I want to mess with my navigation a little bit and bring this in a little bit more. And then I'll be almost done with these templates. But I'll show you a couple other things, tricks you can do. How are we doing on time? Oh, it's only 6:30. We're doing great so far. Okay, appearance editor. Again, go back to this template part. You want to get your header right, because once you have, you can then change it. Okay. Back here, group. And I probably have too many groups, but that's okay. And let's do on the row first. I'm editing the row. And I'm here, and I am going to make the padding on the right side a little bit more. See how I brought that in? And then on the left side a little bit more. And the way I was able to do that, again, I unlinked these things by clicking the unlink button. And so it made it so I'm not padding everything. I'm not putting more padding on the top and so forth. In fact, I'm going to bring it in a little bit more still. There we go. I'm going to save that. And the other thing I was going to do was change in my navigation, change the order of things. So I want my before after crafty stuff to be in front of poetry. There we go. So now we have working navigation. We have a header that I'm happy with. And so it's a pretty, it's already coming along. And I've only been working on this for about 15 or 20 minutes so far. So this is great. Of course, I'm going to want to have different pictures up there in my header, won't I? Of course I will. Because what fun would this be if we don't make it a little bit more challenging? So, I think I'll try that next. Dashboard. Okay. So appearance. Now we already kind of went into our template parts. Okay. Let's talk about the footer. just so we can see that. In fact, I'm going to show you something. Let's go to the header. Let's click in here. And I'm going to copy. I am going to copy this row. Okay. Click here and copy block. So this row is now copied. And what's on here, I should be able to put somewhere else. So now I'm going to go backwards. And I'm going to go from the header template to the footer template. I'm going to edit this. And I am going to click here. And again, it has its group already in there. And there's the row that it has. I'm going to insert before. Wonder if it'll work with just a Command V. Haha, it did. And of course, it still has a background on there. Now I don't really want to put a picture down here, but I kind of still like the idea of having the same look. But I'm actually, no, that'd be too difficult. We're just going to get rid of the second row there, remove that. And I am going to, on this one, I'm going to remove from the navigation the background. It doesn't need it. You can see it well enough. So I go to the background here, actually go to color here, and it's reset all. So I reset the whole thing, which means I'm going to have to do a little bit more here. It has to be medium. And let's do it low, block spacing. Let's see. Let's do 30 pixels. Oh, don't want that. Let's do 25 pixels. 30 pixels black spacing. Okay, so spaces those off a little bit. And we're just going to save that. Let's go look at our website again. So we have our header done. We go down here, and there's the footer right down there. Okay, and everything still works. We still have the before and after. Okay. So let's create another template for the poetry page. I think it deserves its own special template with, its own special header with a different color, a different background, because I have a different background in mind for it, of course. So let's go here and template parts. I go back to this header template. What's the easiest way to do this? Let's see. Take this group and I hit copy block. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. Go back. And I have a plus. I'm going to create a new header. I'm going to call it poetry header. Okay, create. It's a big blank thing, right? Command B. There it is. Save. Now I want this header on the poetry page, but actually I'm going to change one thing before I get it onto the poetry page. Go back into this group. Cover, and I don't think you need that many groups. I messed up at some point. Yeah, I'm on the cover. So that's this whole image. I'm going to replace the cover. Open media library. And let's do this picture. Okay. This is not sure it works as well. But maybe if I change the background here, kind of did that. I'm going to change it again because it doesn't work as well for me. Open media library. What else do I have? Oh, Ooh, one of these. You know what that is? That's a jellyfish. Okay, but I don't like this background on it, on the navigation, on this particular page. So I'm going to go back to navigation. I'm going to go to here. Color. Reset the background. I don't even think I need to have it on there, but I am going to make it black, I think. Actually, let's make the background. Go back to color, background, and we're going to make it white on this, and we're going to make the text black. There we go. It doesn't quite match. Actually, I can make the text a very special color because I can make it the same color. This purple mountains, 5, 4, 4, 8, I see. Okay, and we'll make them still there, save, save. Okay, so we're back here. So we now have the poetry header. That doesn't show up very well. If I did this right, I'd probably change that a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. Let's go back here and then we'll go to templates. So we want to create a template for the poetry page. So I'm going to do here. It's not a friend, it's just a page template. And it tells you, well, where do you want it? I want it on poetry. And it says, okay, here you go. And let's see, there's a place here. Choose a type of block. Header block. And it says, what template part do you want? It's a way, I know there's a place to choose. So I'm choosing a type of block. Look, I already made the header for the poetry page and it pops right up for me. Da, da, da. Save, save. Now let's go see how our website looks. So this is the regular home page. There's my poetry page. Not as great as I'd like. I'd like to have that logo changed out a little bit, maybe have a white logo for this page, but I didn't think of it when I was doing it. You know what's wrong here though, is I don't see my poetry page on here. Pardon me? I don't know. Maybe. No, because it's an image. Yeah, I'm not gonna, I'd have to fiddle around. It'd just be easier just to put a different logo. So why is my poetry page not showing? Before and after still works. Work still works. Poetry is not showing the page. So I'm going to go in and see if I can edit this page. I edit it and it says the template is still set on default template. I want it to be the poetry page. Well, how did I do this before? Ah, that's what I need to do. Okay, so here's the reason, here's what is happening, and I'll tell you why it's happening. So we're going back to our editor. Okay, and we have these templates. And I have not put post content on. So if I go to the regular page template and click here, and I click here, underneath it is this group template, right? That calls my post title and calls all this stuff. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go here. And I am going to copy block, copy block. Then I'm going to go back to my poetry page template. Go here, and you see that none of that's down here. So I'm going to go here. And I'm going to, where do I put that in? I go right here. Poetry header, and I'm going to say insert after. And there it is. Command B. Now the poetry page should be showing everything it's supposed to have on it. So I think what this illustrates is that the templates draw content from as they're designed to. There it is. It's there now. And I have a really good poem I'll read to you later. Okay, so let me explain how that happens again. And let's do that again. Should we do it again, or do people get it? Let's find out if there's any questions.
Question about. Not related to this, though.
Okay. Questions about this. So to explain what I just did, you can have basically as many kinds of headers as you want to have, as many kinds of splitters as you want to have, right? And you can make more and more of them. And in your template, that's template parts, because these are parts of a template. And then in your templates, you can have as many different templates as you want, but you have to be sure and add, when you create a new template, you have to be sure and add the content that's supposed to be on a template. So it'll call it, okay? Because without this group block here, it won't be on there. You know what else is missing from that new page? I bet that my footer is missing from there. So I just copied the footer block, right? I'm going to hit it, copy block. I'm going to go back again to my poetry page, and I'm going to add that in at the bottom. Group block, insert after, put it down here, Command V. And now the footer's in there. Save it again. Okay. Let's see where we're at. So we've done a lot. We've got our poetry page up. We've got our work page. It still goes back to that. I wish I had my logo done in different colors, and then I'd be able to show it off better. But, you know, it is what it is. And now I'm going to show you how to do some editing. CSS, not be afraid of it. I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do your CSS. So, you look here, I don't see any customizer. I'll explain to you how to add a customizer in a minute. But in the meantime, I'm going to go back and look at some other websites. So if you look on this one for the North Peninsula Review, you see there's a little spacer in here. If you look on this one for this design guy, there is none. Why is that? Well, he didn't want that space up there. So I got the code to remove it. It's not a big deal, but he didn't want it, and that's okay. So I'm going to go in here and show you two ways to open up the customizer. So actually, let me go here. You see how it says the name of the website, then it has wp-admin, then it has site editor.php. Go right here where it says site editor and write customize. I think it's just customize. If it's customizer, we'll find out. Well, look at that. We now have our customizer we love. So I already know the code. And I'm just going to go into this guy's code because I have it. And I can copy and paste. And here his customizer is up here, and I'll explain to you why in a minute and how we'll add that on my other website. Additional CSS, and I'm going to copy this, Command C, and go back to my website, Command V. And now what this does, I put in the coding, removes the padding above the heading. You notice it is a slash and an asterisk and a slash. Basically, it calls those blocks. You do this, and I know you're not supposed to have hyphen, exclamation important in, but I got this from the WordPress help desk. I actually contacted them and they told me the coding, and I was like, okay. And you notice that space is missing now. We don't have it on this website. It goes right up to the top. That's the difference it made already. But, wouldn't it be easier if your customizer was like this guy's and you just go back and it's right there? That would be so much easier for us, wouldn't it? So we're going to make that happen. And I'm not actually going to get out of his website because I don't want to change it on him accidentally. So we're going to go right back here. I'm going to show you how to add that in. Real easy. There's a plugin called Yoast SEO, which you're going to want on your website because it helps your website get found. These plugins are added because I'm with SiteGround. I think it's a great hosting service. So I'm going to add new plugin. And there it is, Yoast SEO. If you're using, I just want to say, if you're adding a plugin that you are not familiar with, you always want to check something called their more details. Okay, so this has been updated 2 weeks ago, so it's current. It has millions of people who use it. If there's only 5 people who use it, do not install it on your website. If there's only 10, don't install it. And as you can see, almost everybody gives it a 5-star rating. If you have a mixed reviews, don't install it on your website. Okay, so I'm going to install it. And then I'm going to activate it. And the reason to have Yoast SEO is when you're doing your search engine optimization on your website, it just makes it easy. And look what happens. As soon as I install that, there's my customizer. It shows right up. I don't have to go customize.php in the URL, which is great. And see this thing that comes up, site identity? Well, I want to have my little site icon. Now you go, what is a site icon? Well, if you look here at North Peninsula Review, you see the little site icon here, the R. And if you go here to this design guys, you see his little site icon, that little handle from his plane. So I made a little site icon for me too. So I'm going to select it. I already uploaded it. And I believe it's this. Yes. No, it's not that one. It is this one. Yeah, not one. Let me see. Oh, no, it's this one. No, that's not it. This one here, 512 pixels by 512 pixels. That's how big the site icons will be. So I select it. In fact, it tells you it should be 512 by 512 right here in case you forget. I'm going to publish this. And let's see if there it showed up already, right there. Okay. So let's go back. What else do we want to do on here? I can put more additional CSS if I want in here. I can do things, homepage settings, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to worry about the Yoast stuff right now. Okay, so we have now added the site icon on here. So I have a little swallow flying around. What else did I want to talk about? Let me look. I'm looking at my notes. Blogs. I'll talk to you about blogs. Yes. Oh, one more styling thing before we go to blogs. Okay. So we want to style the whole website, and you can do that right here. So I haven't selected template parts. I haven't selected templates. I'm just in the design section. I click here. And this styles your whole website. If you click this thing, styles. Welcome to styles. It has a little review. Go out there. I can style typography. I can style colors, and I can style layout. The layout is about the width of the website and so forth. I'm not going to mess with that. I don't want to mess with that. But I do think I want to style my typography. I'm not thrilled with the straight out of the box typography that comes with this. So let's look at our different. We go back. Okay. So let's go and look at our typography. I think there's, okay, it comes with a system font. But let's look at what some other options. I didn't change, the default didn't change, that's the same thing. DM Sans, so that just kind of makes it a little bit different font, okay. What's this one do? That looks like a typewriter, doesn't it? Kind of like a typewriter, I kind of like that for this. Let's see what this one does. It's okay. I'm not thrilled with it. And this one is just a cursive kind of. I could go with that, but I'm going to go with the typewriter. I want to do that for now. There. So I have now changed my font that easy in here. I want you to know I'd finished this website for the North Peninsula Review, and she loved it, except she wanted it to have the, what's that called when it has a italic, not italics, the serif. She wanted to have a serif font, and because that's what they have it printed in the newspaper. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll try. And it was one of the first times I built a website with 2023. And I went in here and fixed it, put the serif font on, and she was so happy. It was so easy. I was so happy too. Okay, so let's talk about our links. So this changed the font everywhere, okay, but it didn't change our link colors. So, actually, let's do colors. Typography, colors. So this green color isn't really what I want in here. Links. I could change the background color of the whole website if I wanted. You want to see how I do that? Let's do that. Just for fun. Yeah, see, we may change it back, but the point is I can. Pink. Let's see. Okay. We might just leave it like that for a little bit. I can always change it back, right? Okay. And then go to background. We want the links is what we want to deal with, the colors of the links. So the default is now a black. I'm going to make it something slightly different. I'm going to make it that Purple Mountains look, which is the color I got from the Purple Mountains, which is 50485C. Okay, so the links will be that color now. I don't have any links in this page, but we'll see them. Save that. You always have to hit save twice. I don't know why. And then we go back to links again. And let's do the hover color on links and make it slightly different. Maybe a little bit darker. 332. AC3, which is the color from here. AC3. Always have to hit save twice. Okay. Let's go look at the website. And I think we're doing really good on time. And I'm going to be able to go into blogs in a minute because we have somebody here who wanted to talk about blogs. Okay. So let's see how our links look. Oh, I'm going to show you a little bit about what I built these pages, but let's look at before after. I have links on here. So occasionally crafty, creative. So macrame patio chairs started out like this. What do? Became like this. And see how the links look? They're okay. I don't like that green, and I don't think it followed the color I wanted it to follow in there, did it? I did put the color in. I know I saved it. We saw me do that, but it's still not turning out. Let me see if I refresh the screen and purge the cache if it changes that. It should be, nope, it's still kind of that green color. So I am going to do some coding to change that, which I had to do on some other websites. I don't know, I think that's a glitch possibly with this theme. Anyway, so that's something to look at. And I want to talk a little bit about how I created these pages before I dig into the links though. So on this page, this particular block, okay, this is a header block, okay? This is a header block 2. This project is header block 3. This block here is the media block. And I could have the media on the left or on the right, depending on how I place it. If I did this, it switches over. And with a media block, you have a picture, and then you have your content. And this is just a regular image block that I set to wide width. And one thing that's changed, you might want to know, if you want to put in a caption, you have to click that. And then you can write a caption. Okay, so let's just save that, leave it like it is. Go back to here. And let's do some coding on the links, because that is, you saw me change that, Doug, and it didn't.
I think the change was on the hover.
Well, let me try it. Let me look on the other. Well, I thought I changed it on that. Let's go check again. And I have customizing I can do on it. So I'm going to go in here. I'm on this. I go to here. I go to colors. I go to links. And the default is this. It's supposed to be purple. And the hover, that isn't actually the right color for hover. I wanted, the cover came through. Let's see. Darker Hills 332. AC3. It's still the same. Well, it isn't quite the color. I must not have written that color down correctly, but that's okay. It's not quite the color. I wanted this color in there. Save. But we know that the links are supposed to have that in there. Maybe I'll change it to that on here and see if we can change it. 504 85C. Okay. You always have to save it twice. I don't know why. So now we have the links are both the same color, this, and then the other color is the same. We know it's in there. We're going to go look again. And if it doesn't do it, I'll show you some coding to fix it. Let's go to before and after. And it's still that green, but the hover color is better. So we're gonna do some little stylings. So let's look at what this guy had on his stylings for. or his, let's see, additional CSS. Styles the links within the website. So I'm just going to copy this right here. And if you look at this later, and then I'm going to get out of this client's website so I don't mess it up. And I'm going to go here, here, appearance, customize. Now I'm going to edit this coding after I put it in because I don't want it to look like his. So this again, it's a put the hashtag here and slash. So it's, you see it's the slash asterisk, and then I write in caps what it is I'm doing, asterisk to end that. And so WP blocks post content, and I don't want the color to be that yellow. I want it to be the Purple Mountains, 50485C. And I'm going to have font decoration none, which means it won't be. In fact, we can look at before or after and see how this changes it. You see it's purple now. And the font weight 700, it's heavier. So you'll be able to point out, you'll know that it's a link, because it not only is it a different color, it's heavier font. And then when I hover on it, I want it to be the same color, 50485C, but I want it to be underlined. So I hit text decoration, underline. Okay, so I'm going to publish this. So what this did is it actually changed it. Before it was underlined, before you had it, and now it's underlined after. If I wanted it underlined both times, all I'd have to do is write underline here. Now it's going to be underlined before and after, but I want it to be none. I want it to change when people hover over it, so they know. Hope I did that right. So they know that this is a link. Okay, go back. Visit site. I'm about done with this site. Oh my goodness. And it is only exactly 7:03. So yeah, I built a website in an hour. And I can click over to my friends who I buy stuff from and do all the advertising I want to do on here. And we have my poem. I'm going to talk about blogging in 1 second, but first I will read my poem. Maybe I'll save that for after we have some beer. You'll appreciate it more. And this is where, this is just nothing else I really need to change. I have it going to my website, so people can link right to it. There's my footer. Okay, let's talk about blogs, because we have a person here in the audience who wanted to know about blogs. So I'm not doing a blog in this website, and that's okay. I don't have to. I have lots of people who have done blogs. So this one, and this is still in staging because she still needs to give me some content. She wanted a blog. Well, she has a blog. You can see her old website. This is the original website still up. Here's all a bunch of posts that she has on that website. Okay. And she wanted to have, obviously have them on the homepage of her own website. So I was in here and I have the editor and I have her different templates, and there's her front page template. Front page template supersedes other templates. And there you see there's the blogs are supposed to be on there, right? And I was so sure they should be on there, but they weren't showing up. I was like pulling my hair out. I will show you a magic thing. That might be a glitch that they didn't show up. I mean, a glitch in the theme. I don't know. I'll show you how. I'm going to show you how. So if I go to home, if I go to pages, all pages, and I go to home, where is it here? Home. And I'd put in a query loop for the blogs. Okay, right here. I went too far. This is a query loop for blogs, right here. Go up, see, there it is. Why was it not showing? I couldn't figure it out. But let me click on that. I'm going to actually click on the query loop so you'll see it, so I can see it. Query loop. Okay. We're now in the query loop block. And you see this? Inherit query from template. When I first installed the query loop, that was checked automatically. After I unchecked it, the blog posts appeared on the home page. So that's the magic secret. Uncheck that. To add a blog post, for those of you know who want this, you just go to all posts, add new, and you start adding your blog post. It's that easy. If you have a page, there will be a blog page. And in her case, let's see. Yeah, and they're not showing up.
And they're also as templates too intense. They need to take everything.
Do you have a WordPress website?
I'll show you.
Yeah, we'll look at that. In fact, we'll have time tonight to look at that because I'm going to be done in a minute. So this is her blog page, benefit and impact stories. So these, all the blog posts show up on here, and you can go to older posts if you want, and there's more posts. But on her home page, you use the query loop to get just the number of posts you want on to show up. I only wanted like this many to show up. So you can edit that in your query loop, but I'm going to show you again, because this is something that I pulled my hair out for a while. And I'm surprised I still have any hair. But apparently I didn't pull out. So here we're going back to that query loop. So I'm in the query loop. Let me click in that. I want the whole query there. I got the whole query loop. I unchecked inherit query from template, and it worked fine. I wanted it in 3 columns. You can pick whatever sort of template you want. And I wanted, I think no more than 6. I set it somewhere just for 6 to show. Okay, let's show you how I did it. So that's, any questions on that? Okay. You can rewatch this video 100 times and stop it and do whatever you want, right? So, questions from the audience first. You guys are so knowledgeable. I'm glad you were here. Questions from the online audience? No questions. Well, I did this in an hour and about 7 minutes. Yeah, I'm rather pleased. So this is the new Marianne Asher-Brenner website. I know you'd be disappointed if you didn't get to see the poem. So here it is. I'm working with my daughter on going through a book. And this is a prompt for a poem about using anaphora, which is a device that uses repetition to create rhythm and emphasis within a poem. And my daughter and I think it's just really, really good. So if you were socializing with us tonight, I would read it to you. And I think that's all I've got. If there's no other questions.
Nice job.
No. Okay. Does anyone feel more comfortable with the 2023 theme now? I mean, once you have your stuff in it, really, you can build a website pretty fast with it. And you can do it with very little styling. I mean, I think that it might take, like with the links, I think if you wait a little while, they show up in the color you selected. It doesn't happen immediately. The only thing you really have to have the coding for is to get rid of that top space if you want to get rid of it. Or you can keep it. I mean, it's fine to keep it too.
Yeah, I've seen that on a couple.
Yeah, it looks good here. I don't have a problem with it here. But you know, you can take it away if you want. Now you have the coding to do that. And you know how to find your customized.php and how to add it yourself just by adding that Yoast plugin. Which you are going to probably want to use in your website if you want people to find the website. So I covered everything I wanted to cover.